Good evening. I think we are live. There might be, please confirm if the audio is fine. Just give me a second. I think there could be some issue on the audio. Let me resolve it. Could be the. Okay. All right. I don't think the audio will be bothering you now. So let's begin the session. We did not have a session last week, but we had 2 sessions the week before. We also have 2 sessions this week, and I think it's one of the most awaited topics, which is Para Jumbles. So we're doing Para Jumbles this week. I hope you guys are excited. Para Jumbles is sort of like everything that we've done so far. It sort of comes together in Para Jumbles. And also Para Jumbles is a very significant topic because the topic which is after Para Jumbles, which is called sentence elimination or odd sentence out, is almost related to Para Jumbles. So if you can't understand Para Jumbles, you will have a very tough time with odd sentence out. So please do Para Jumbles quite well. I will discuss certain factors of the question and what type of questions you can get. So let's get into it. Okay, please sit with a notebook and please make notes with me because today is the first class, so we'll be doing theory and approach today. Okay, let's go. Good evening, Rajneesh. Okay, I have the chat open right here, guys, so please, if there's any doubt, please let me know. I'll address it then and there. Okay, so we're doing Para Jumbles. So minimum questions you will encounter, okay, 2 questions, theta questions, of course, where there are no options. You have to put in the options. But in the other exams, which is ZAT, SNAP, NMAT, all the other private exams, MHCT, they all have options except for CAT, which does not have options. So there you will get options, but here this is a theta question. Minimum 2, maximum it can go up to 4. It all depends on the slots. Okay, some slots have had 4 questions of Para Jumbles in the past. Some minimum give you 2. So if you're fortunate enough, you might just get 2. So Para Jumbles is yeah. Let me just tell you, they are usually 4 statements, but it can also be 5 statements that could be asked. Okay, but not more than that. So 4 statements are jumbled and then you have to unjumble them. Sometimes 5 statements are jumbled and you have to unjumble them. So 4 to 5 max. Okay, 5 से ऊपर नहीं जाता है. So let's discuss the approach. Now, technically, if you've understood how a paragraph works, how a paragraph structure works, you will not have a hard time understanding how to solve a parajumble, right? It works like a paragraph. So the only technical part is because it's so pressurizing and you have very limited time, how to do it in the limited time, how to not mess up all the techniques I have here. One more very significant thing, whenever you guys are doing mocks, please, I think there are certain questions that require varied times. So there could be some parajumbles that require 7 minutes, not just by you, by even the solver. Okay, so wherever you're buying mocks from, okay, every institution, if you're buying from Career Launcher, IMS, or any other institution, they will have video solutions. उनका वीडियो सोल्यूशन देखना और देखना कितना लंबा सोल्यूशन है, ठीक है, तो उस हिसाब से आपका अप्रोच बदलेगा. अगर 7 मिनट है और मैंने भी 7-8 मिनट लगाया, सो डोंट ब्रिंग योर सेल्फ डाउन कि मैंने इतना टाइम क्यों लगाया, ठीक है, मेरे लिए शायद ये क्वेश्चन नहीं था. ओके, समटाइम्स द क्वेश्चन इज doable but could take a little longer, so that is completely fine. You just have to analyze 5 minutes before the paper starts or right after the paper starts that when the question is to be done. Okay, so how do you identify if the question is doable or not? Let's discuss. So out of the 4 or 5 statements that are given to you, try finding the introductory or concluding sentence. Okay, that should be your first step. concluding या introductory sentence. Okay, ये easily मिल जाते हैं. Concluding sentence will have, I mean, quite obviously will summarize everything and will probably have words like thus, therefore, okay, hence, all of these words. Introductory sentence could introduce a term, will be very generalized as compared to all the other sentences. Okay, will not use the article the, but it will use the article a. Why? Because a is an indefinite article and the being a definite article. So all these grammatical hints we'll discuss. So on that grammatical hint, structural hints, try to find the introductory or the concluding sentence. Now this will give you the hint of main idea. ठीक है, कि पैराग्राफ का थीम क्या है. अगर 2-3 मिनट लगा के भी नहीं मिल रहा है, then maybe the question is not for you, and maybe if you did find the intro sentence or the concluding sentence and still couldn't grasp the main idea, again the question might not be for you. Please move on. Okay, please start learning your weaknesses and your strengths. Try to understand what are your weaknesses, what are your strengths right from the get-go. Then we will eliminate options. We will make pairs as per follower and leader. So if your exam has options, you will eliminate as per them, or in CAT you will start making pairs as per follower and leader. Now what does that mean? Follower is a sentence that obviously is not the starting sentence, but it connects to a given sentence. For example, if a sentence starts with it, these, okay, this, what is this pointing to? It is definitely pointing to something. Okay, this, that, these, it, ये सारे के सारे pronouns किसी ना किसी पे point कर रहे हैं. So these sentences will be follower, and the noun sentence, wherever the noun of these words are discussed, will be your leader sentence. Right, so this is how you do. So whenever you're given 4 to 5 sentences, अपने notebook में F, L, F, F ऐसे करके लिख लेना. That will be very easy for you to make pairs. So if this is a follower, इसका leader कौन है? Okay, if this is a leader, ठीक है, तो this could be an independent leader या फिर इसका follower हो सकता है. Maybe ये दोनों एक pair हैं. So follower and leader is wonderful approach to make pairs. Now pairs is very important. We'll discuss further on that. Now, just the whole general structure is this. Okay, इसे कहते हैं एक inverted triangle structure. Inverted triangle क्यों? क्योंकि general statements, vague statements सबसे ऊपर आते हैं, and then आते हैं आपके specific statements. For example, this is how the chronology should go. First India, then New Delhi, and then Connaught Place. So this is how any paragraphs are written. General statement first and then specific sentences. Then some other paragraph structures. Beside the inverted triangle, some other paragraph structures are prep and peel. Prep क्या है? Opening point, reason for the opening point, example, and concluding point. You can definitely be given a sentence structure in this format. Okay, if there's an example, it should precede a theory it's trying to prove, and the theory has to be introduced. And then last mein you might be concluding this sentence. I will come to the chat. I see a couple of queries. I'll just briefly explain this theory because this is very significant, and then we'll discuss your queries. Oh, something is disturbing you. I isolated myself in a place for the exam, but I feel caged here. I'm able to study when I'm in library, but somehow it is disturbing me. Help me. Okay, Vivek, tell us where you are. I mean, is this a metaphorical indication? Are you caged literally or somewhere else, or like emotionally? If you want, you can definitely watch the recording later if you feel like you're not in a position to attend the lecture right now. You can definitely watch it later. It's completely fine. If there's any doubt you can encounter, you can put it in the comments. I'll reply to it ASAP. Okay, otherwise there's some metaphorical indication. Let us know. I think that is a whole different ball game. Okay, the other paragraph structure is the peel structure, which is point, evidence, example and link. Link किसका? इन दोनों का. So sometimes there's no conclusion, sometimes there's another piece of information that is linked to evidence and example. So these are some three common paragraph structures, the way you could be given. Now the pairs. Let's come back to pairs. Pairs is very important for cat. बिकॉज ये टीटा क्वेश्चन है, पेयर्स बनाना ज़रूरी है. क्यों? बहुत ईजी हो जाता है क्वेश्चन अगर पेयर्स बन जाते हैं. ठीक है, 4 स्टेटमेंट हैं. 4 स्टेटमेंट में मुझे पता है 2 और 3 साथ में ही जाएंगे और बचे 1 और 4. या तो 1 और 4 साथ में जाएंगे, या 1 इधर आएगा 4 इधर आएगा, या 4 इधर आएगा 1 इधर आएगा. ठीक है, पर आधा काम हो जाता है अगर पेयर बन जाते हैं. So your number one priority after you found the opening and the concluding sentence is to start making pairs. Now how do you make pairs? You make pairs through your grammatical hints. Okay, hence grammar is very, very important. Okay, it's not a redundant topic. Please revise your grammar. It is important for cat. Okay, not directly but indirectly. यहाँ देखो, some grammatical hints are noun first followed by pronouns or adjectives. ठीक है, तो इससे आपको आपका follower leader method भी मिल सकता है. For example, John Keats was a romantic poet. His poems या Keats's poems are known to be sublime. So obviously this sentence is a follower. Now I have to find ये किसको mention कर रहा है. So this is definitely the leader of the given sentence. So now you can make a pair कि ये दोनों pair हैं, इनके बीच में कोई नहीं आएगा. The other way that you can make pairs is through demonstrative pronouns. Okay, this, that, those, these. ये किसी को point कर रहे हैं. For example, these churches. ठीक है, कौन से churches? Somewhere their name is mentioned in the above sentence. So if it's monolithic churches or some specific churches, so this will be therefore a pair. The other way is articles. Okay, article a will be used first and then the. Why? Because a is indefinite article, yani general article, and then comes the definite article, which is the specific article. For example, a satellite. Generally, the satellite is being introduced. So a satellite will be launched by India soon. The satellite will be called EOS-04. So first a general introduction and then you are mentioning the specific satellite again. So this is again going to help you make pairs. The other very important, I think this is one of the most significant giveaways of pairs, are conjunctions. ठीक है, पार्ट अगर आपने figure of speech किया है, parts of speech किया है, तो you will know conjunctions are words, phrases that join other words and phrases. Okay, join, these are फेविकॉल वर्ड्स, ये चिपकाने का काम करते हैं, बट ये चिपकाते अलग अलग रिश्तों में हैं. एंड और एज वेल एज एक्सटेंशन का रिश्ता करते हैं. जैसे आई लाइक रीडिंग एंड राइटिंग, इट एक्सटेंड्स द प्रीवियस पॉइंट, but or on the other hand contradicts the previous point. I like reading but I don't like writing, so it contradicts whatever has been said before. So these will also help you find pairs. So but के बाद जो भी दिया है contradiction दिया है, तो ये किस चीज को contradict कर रहा है, you will have to find a pair for that. Okay, these are some more conjunctions that can be used for hints to make pairs. Okay, so the number one step is to start making pairs. If you don't make pairs, वो 4-5 statements अब एक जैसे लगेंगे and it'll be all खिचड़ी. So खिचड़ी ना लगे, mess ना बने, please make pairs. Okay, the other ways that you can make pairs is obviously full form first and then short statements. So if there are abbreviations mentioned, okay, then you can make pairs through them. जैसे यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका पहले आएगा, फिर जहाँ भी यूएसए मेंशन किया है वो उसी के बाद आएगा. पहले यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका आएगा, जहाँ पे भी यूएसए है, सबसे फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट फुल फॉर्म वाला स्टेटमेंट होगा. देन जहाँ पे भी ट्रम्प है, सबसे पहला स्टेटमेंट उसके पूरे नाम वाला स्टेटमेंट होगा. ओके, देन फॉर एनेक्डोट्स एंड स्टोरीज, Okay, if all the 4 to 5 statements are conveying a story, they will have an order. It is not going to be random. They will have a chronological order. What will be the order? It will be oldest to latest. पुराने events से लेके latest events. So earlier to later, then to now, before to after. This is the order that should be followed. Then statements and words written in quotes, okay, double inverted comma या quotes में है, should be given special attention. Words written in quotes are the introduction or the first usage of the said word. So if there are 4 statements explaining zygote, okay, let's say what is the definition of zygote, okay, what is the function of zygote and everything. All the 4 statements have the word zygote. There is one statement that has zygote in double inverted commas. So that indicates that that is the first time zygote has been introduced in the word or in the paragraph. Okay, so that therefore can be a giveaway that this could be my opening sentence, right? So if you find a double inverted comma word, बाकी सारे वर्ड्स में से वो वाला वर्ड का पहला यूसेज है वो. Last step, okay, after all of the tricks that you've applied, all the grammatical hints and all the structural hints get through, you have made a lot of pairs. The last step would be, once you are done arranging the statements in a tentative sequence, check the meaning that is being implied by that sequence. The correct sequence will be logically and grammatically valid and meaningful too. So once you have found your answer, okay, ये रहा मेरा आंसर. लॉक इन करने से पहले, टाइप इन करने से पहले 2, 3, 4, 1 की क्रोनोलॉजी में पढ़ लेना पूरा पैराग्राफ एंड चेक करना if it's making sense, if it's a meaningful paragraph. If you think it's making sense, correct. अगर लग रहा है गड़बड़ है तो गड़बड़ बिल्कुल हो सकती है. Try sorting it out, then locking and then moving on. Okay, so this is important. पेयर्स बना के आगे मत बढ़ जाना. एक बार पेयर्स बना के अरेंज करके पढ़ के भी देखना. Alright, I'll come back to the queries. Vivek has said, okay, physically you are in an institute. Okay, try moving out. Okay, otherwise watch the lecture later because you will be wasting time if you can't concentrate right now. So you will have to rewatch it later. And Para Jumbles is important. I mentioned in the beginning, Para Jumbles is important for the next chapter also we'll be doing. And in general, it's a TETA question. Another thing that I wanted to talk about, TETA questions are quite risky. For example, if the answer is 2, 3, 4, 1 and आप लोग एग्जाम में करके है 3, 2, 4, 1, so सिर्फ एक दो सेंटेंस उल्टा करके है ना, लगाए अच्छे खासे 8 मिनट, समझ भी आ गया मेरे को, बट पता नहीं हड़बड़ी में मैंने 2, 3 का 3, 2 ही समझा, फिर भी 0 ही मिलेगा. Okay, half mark नहीं मिलेगा, you will still get a big अंडा. So this is a very risky question. That is why I personally recommend कि Para Jumbles last में करो. कभी कभी ओवरथिंकिंग कारण ये टाइम ज़्यादा खा लेते हैं, ठीक है, एंड रिस्की होते हैं इन द सेंस एक भी इधर उधर हो गया तो ये इसके मार्क्स भी गए और मैं आगे जो सॉल्व कर सकता था वो भी चला गया. दैट इज़ व्हाई आई पर्सनली रेकमेंड टू डू Para Jumbles at the end. Okay. Rajneesh, please start taking sessions on Saturday and Sunday as well. We will definitely try to do that, but when we increase the number of sessions that is around the exam, I think then we do have a plan of doing that. For now, because there is time, we're taking it slow. Okay, I do have plans because we're done with the verbal ability topics. I have plans of taking some RC sessions, and after RC sessions, I'm also planning to take some grammar topics, because I know you guys are preparing for some other exams also. So thode grammar topics I can take where your MHCT is also sort of prepared. If you're giving SNAP, wo bhi prepare ho jata hai. So vocabulary also I'll be taking. So right now, because given this time, we are taking it slow. When closer to exam, we'll probably increase the frequency of lectures. Okay, but given if you have time, please practice. Please practice. All the theory you have in your hand, If you need any guidance, please use the comment section. Okay, we usually reply as soon as we can. But if you have ample time, try practicing a lot of them. Most of these questions are DIY. Okay, in the sense मैंने starting में बताया, ये ढूंढने के बाद मेन आइडिया समझो और फिर समझो कि ये मेरे लिए क्वेश्चन है या नहीं. तो ये कैसे पता चलेगा? You have to know thyself. You have to understand what topics are for you and what are not for you. Certain topics that you can get are some current affairs, news you can get Para Jumbles, you can get on literature. Okay, you can also get on philosophy. Okay, you can get on social science, you can get on politics, civics, geography. So try practicing wide variety of Para Jumbles to know that this topic is for me and this one is not for me. So you can avoid wasting time. Anyways, Para Jumbles last में करना है, वैसे ही कम टाइम है, तो उस कम टाइम में how do I get the most of it? Okay, you have to strategize initially. You can watch endless strategy videos on cat on YouTube, but nothing is going to work. Okay, everything works as per your requirements, as per your strengths and weaknesses. So take this time to analyze what those are. Okay, so all the theory concluding right here. Step 1, reading all the statements properly. I will identify the structure, the style, the tone, okay, what is the basic keywords that are being reiterated. After understanding what is the theme of the paragraph, I will then take a pause and try to find the opening sentence. Key. This is the opening sentence, hence this is the main idea. Once that is found, then you will start making pairs. Pairs on grammatical and structural hints. कि ये दोनों साथ में ही जाएंगे. Once the pairs are made, okay, for example 4 5 and 1 3, दो पेयर बन गए. ठीक है, अब लिखूं कैसे? 1 3 4 5 या 4 5 1 3, इनका भी ऑर्डर होता है. So once you are done making pairs, find their orders, find their flow. Okay, अब इधर 2 फंस गया तो 2 किधर आएगा? बीच में डालूं, ओपनिंग है या कंक्लूडिंग है? So after pairs, this is what you have to do. And then at the last, you have to determine the sequence of the para jumble and then obviously read to find if the answer that you've come with is correct or not. So this is how you approach para jumbles. No options, hence I have not discussed any bad options here. Everything depends on the understanding of the paragraph and the pairs you make. Okay? I will now do one solved example. We'll do it together. Okay, 5 statements. This is the first example. So I'll just do it how I will approach in an exam as a student. ठीक है, तो ये 5 statements है मेरे आगे. मैं फटाफट ऊपर से पढ़ लूंगी और पढ़ते ही मेरे को पता चल रहा है कि ये एक follower है. ठीक है, ये leader नहीं है क्योंकि it says this figurine. ठीक है. Second वाला, you know you're a nerd when you store toys in your home. Sounds like a very general statement. किसी को follow नहीं कर रहा है तो leader हो सकता है. Third one, at her home in Pune, Reema holds up a tiny toy to her laptop camera for me to see on a video call. Again, her home इधर mention कर दिया है रीमा का home, तो फिर ये भी leader ही होगा. It does not look like any other figurines she has ever owned. It mentions what? Definitely a follower. इसका leader mention करता है it क्या है. Fifth, it's hard to make out. Again, what is hard to make out? This is also follower. It's hard to make out, but she tells me that this is not just any toy but a limited edition figurine. Okay. Now I have to find the pairs. Okay, जैसे ये follower है तो इसका leader कौन है? ये follower है तो इसका leader कौन है? और ये follower है तो इसका leader कौन है? Let's look at the statement 5. It's hard to make out, but she tells me that it is not just any toy but a limited edition figurine. She is pointed to obviously Reema. So she has to be paired with her. So obviously 3 and 5 is a pair. 5 has to come after 3. Okay, then but a limited edition figurine. इधर आया है figurine सबसे पहले, बाकी सब में figurine इंट्रोड्यूस नहीं किया है. इधर बोला है it's hard to make out, but she tells me it's just not just any toy. ये एक स्पेशल एडिशन फिगरीन है. तो दिस इज द फर्स्ट टाइम फिगरीन इज बीन मेंशन. तो बाकी सारे स्टेटमेंट्स जो फिगरीन के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं वो इसी के बाद आएंगे. ठीक है, तो वी हैव गॉट 1 and 4. सो लेट्स ट्राई टू चेक कौन सा पहले आएगा. It does not look like any other figurines she has ever owned. One says, but this figurine is special. I can clearly see this one says it is special. Fourth one explains how it is special. Okay, so obviously it should be 1 and then 4. Right? One says, but this figurine is special. It does not look like any other figurines she has ever owned. 1 and 4, a pair. Now we're left with statement 2. You know you're a nerd when you store toys in your home. This is what I call a classic dead sentence. Completely dead. इसका कोई पार्टनर नहीं है. ठीक है, ये कंक्लूडर भी हो सकता है, ये ओपनर भी हो सकता है. ठीक है, इन दोनों के बीच में तो नहीं आएगा क्योंकि ये पेयर बन गए हैं. यहाँ आ सकता है, या लास्ट में आ सकता है, या इधर आ सकता है. So let's see 5 and 1. It's hard to make out, but she tells me that it's just not any toy but a limited edition figurine. But this figurine is special. Okay, here 2 will not make sense. Okay, it will be a completely abrupt break here. So बीच में नहीं आएगा. Now it could be either in the concluding or in the opening sequence. Okay, in the last sentence is fourth one, which is this. It does not look like any other figurine she has ever owned. You know you're a nerd when you store toys in your home. Again, it's ending on a very vague note. Try placing it in the beginning. Place it here. You know you're a nerd when you store toys in your home. At her home in Pune, Reema holds up a tiny toy to her laptop camera for me to see on our video call. So, this, you know you're a nerd, could be an introduction for Reema, right? So rather at the end, it will make more sense in the beginning, right? So although it's a dead sentence, it makes more sense right in the beginning. So I will place it in the beginning, and all my pairs with their chronological order should be like this, because this is the first time it introduces figurines. So the order should be 2, 3, 5, 1, 4. I understand this is quite an easy question, but I just wanted to explain how to approach first. So I hope you've understood the approach. ठीक है, सांस लेंगे, follow a leader ढूंढेंगे, then through that we can easily find the opening sentence. Okay, out of these two leaders, it was not very hard to make out that this is definitely our opening sentence, or this could also be our opening sentence. I can easily understand at least the theme from that, and then I can go on from that. ठीक है, एक और type of question आता है इस तरह का. Okay, where you are given first statement and last statement, and you have to unjumble the 4 given sentence in the middle. So this is also relatively easier than the previous one, because if you can find the successor of the first one and the predecessor of the last one, all you have to do is unjumble the remaining 2. Okay, all you have to check is the chronology of the remaining 2. So before I give the answer away, why don't you guys take 5 minutes to come to the answer, and then we'll do it together. Okay, I'll just put the time here. Try solving it yourself, put the answer there, and then we'll discuss. Use all the strategies that I had discussed in the previous example. Oh, yes, you're right, Rajneesh. Sorry for that. I'll just fix the placement of my screen. There you go. Sorry about that. Take that last minute to reconsider your logged answers. Please, people who've come to the answer, read it in that chronology with the first and the last statement. So, 1, and then whatever your answer is, and then 6. Please read it in that chronology and then lock your answer. Okay, let's discuss. Biofuel is any fuel that is derived from biomass, plant material, or animal waste. Okay. Last sentence says mainly because of the economic and environmental cost associated with the refining process. Because it's giving a reason for something. What is this giving a reason for? So you need to find its pair. Mainly because of the economic and environmental cost associated with the process. This is definitely something negative. Obviously, it's giving a reason for something negative because it's discussing the cost of something and the environmental cost also. So, definitely negative. Okay, so let's read all the statements. I can easily find a simple connection here. Statement D says since such feedstock material. कौन सा feedstock material? It's definitely mentioned before. Such बोला है तो ऊपर बात किया गया है. Such feedstock material can be replenished readily. Biofuel is considered to be a source of renewable energy. कौन सा feedstock material? ये रहा. Plant material and animal waste. So 1 के बाद आना चाहिए D because feedstock material यहाँ mention किया है. So 1 and D are a pair. Then we discussed 6th gives us a reason for something negative. So if you read everything, see 1 gives you again another negative thing. Okay, but it's not relevant to this part. Okay, here it's talking about economic and environmental costs associated with the refining process and the removal of vast areas of arable land from food production. So this could be associated to something negative, which is mentioned in E. Many critics express the concern about the scope of expansion of certain biofuels. Why are they scared of the expansion? Because of the economic and the environmental cost. So E and 6 are a pair. I think most of you had gotten this right. Right now, beach ka check that. Should it be D and E is fixed? Should it be now D, B, C, E or just a second. D, yeah, should it be D, B, C, E or D, C, B, E? Okay, the answer is one of these. Let's read them. C says primarily because. Again, it's a reason for what? What is this a reason for? If you've gone for this, then इसका reason D है. D में बोला है it's a source of renewable energy, primarily because of rising petroleum prices and increased concern over the contribution made by fossil fuels. It's a renewable energy because of the rising petroleum prices? It makes no sense, right? But read it the opposite way. Read BC. Biofuel is perceived by its advocates as cost-effective and environmentally friendly alternative to petroleum and other fossil fuels. So it's cheaper and better for the environment as compared to petrol. Why? बिकॉज पेट्रोल के खर्चे बढ़ते रहते हैं, प्राइसेस बढ़ते रहते हैं, एंड it makes a great impact on the global warming, hence bad. So the answer, the reason C is given for statement B. So B pehle aana chahiye and then C. So the answer for this should be D, B, C, E. Okay, so if this was your answer, good job. I told you, even if you get one of these idhar udhar, you wasted your time. Okay, and you've also lost the marks that could have gotten. So please try to do para jumbles at the last. Try to keep some time for them at the last. Okay, let's do another question. Okay, so 5 statements. I've given you the traditional, the conventional question, 5 statements. Try following the same method. Now if you read everything, this reads like a story, like a narrative, and I had given you a strategy for narrative. Okay, stories follow the oldest to latest chronology, so try following that. I think I might be hiding the question again, so I will move myself back down. Okay, I hope you can see the question now, and let me give you guys like 5 minutes. After fixing the order and locking your answer, please read it in that order. Rajneesh, you have one statement misplaced. Everything is right, just one statement is misplaced. Try to read the sentences in the order that you've gone for. You will find while reading that one sentence is probably a little abrupt. Others also, please give me your answers so I can check if you are in the same thought line as me, or if you are not assuming wrong strategies and techniques. Okay, so please put in your answers. I would say this is a very easy question. There are a lot of grammatical hints that you can use to make pairs. So try making the pairs first. definitely कुछ कहानी है इधर. There's certain events that are happening. All you have to do is try to make a chain, a chronological chain of these events. Okay, I have gotten some answers. So let's discuss. I'm just going to approach it how I would approach it in the exam. Okay, so I will just quickly go through the statements which I did while you guys were solving, and I found some hints, some grammatical hints. For example, look at this one. The conjunction hit, the contradiction. Statement 3 is contradicting something. Let's find out what it's contradicting. Similarly, statement 4 says I write them down. It gives us a pronoun. Write what down? I need to find its pair. So they are both followers. I just need to find their leaders quickly. ठीक है. 3. But daybreak sounds rise and reach my window where I sit reading your book. So ये आवाज़ें मेरे तक पहुंच जाती हैं, पर ये आवाज़ें मेरे तक पहुंच जाती हैं. तो यूजुअली मेरे यहाँ आवाज़ नहीं पहुंचती. That sentence is indeed given in 2. My house is isolated up on the top of a hill overlooking the sea. Isolated, no voice, but sometimes the daybreak sounds rise and reach my window. So the contradiction is easily explained in the statement 2. 2 and 3 a pair. Okay. Now this one, this guy, I write them down. You write something down. A small digitalized scribble on the concluding page of your book. Okay, so of your book, and यहाँ पे भी था your book. So this is definitely the intro. Okay, here I sit reading your book, and then later I come across something that I write on it. So obviously the pair that I'm going to make out of 4 and 5 will come after 2 and 3, which most of you have gone for. So I write them down is obviously pointed to Hindi words. I recognize the Hindi words individually, but strung together they are senseless to me. I write them down, a small digitalized scribble on the concluding page of your book. Okay, so it should be 5 and 4. Okay, a lot of you have gone for 4, 5. 4, 5 makes no sense because pointing, what do you write down? First you have to mention the Hindi words, so you have to mention the noun, and only then can you write the pronoun, right? She teaches verbal, Jessica takes live sessions. Makes no sense. Jessica takes live sessions, she teaches verbal, right? पहले मेरा intro तो दो, पहले मेरा noun तो बताओ. Similarly, noun comes first and then the pronoun. So it should be 2, 3 and 5, 4. Now 2, 3 में किताब पढ़ी जा रही थी. 4, 5 में कुछ लिखा जा रहा है, शब्द लिखे जा रहे हैं. तो बीच में कुछ हुआ है. क्या हुआ है? ये हुआ है. Someone heckles from a road below. Heckles yani shouts or yells, okay, or speaks loudly from a road below to someone else whom I imagine is trudging uphill. Now, this will not come here. makes no sense here because here the house's location is being mentioned. Fourth में शब्दों की लिखा जा रहा है, इधर आ सकता है but better कहाँ लगेगा? Better यहाँ fit होगा. It gives you a smooth transition from 2-3 and 5-4. 2-3 में वो बेचारा चुपचाप पढ़ रहा था, 5-4 में वो अचानक से उसने हिंदी वर्ड्स रिकग्नाइज किए. कहाँ रिकग्नाइज किए? जब किसी ने कुछ भाषा में चिल्लाया तभी तो उसने रिकग्नाइज किया. Yes, so it should be 2-3, 1 and then 5-4. Okay, I see some of you change your answers. So once you read them and try to understand the logic, only then can you find and lock the answers. Okay, last May it will make no sense. Okay, placing it after 4, I write them down, concluding your book, and then putting this statement will end it very abruptly. So the best chronology is 2, 3, 1, 5, 4. Okay, wonderful. Let's do another question. There you go. Not a story. This is not a story, but you can still make pairs here. I'll give you guys 5 minutes. I think this will probably be our last question. I'll write the time here. Okay, see some answers. Third statement में बोला है while this question. Right? What question? Make sure the statement that is before this has a question. Okay, so whatever you've gone for, check 3 से पहले जो भी मेरे पास statement है, क्या उसमें कोई क्वेश्चन पूछा गया है या क्वेश्चन मेंशन किया है? चेक एंड देन लॉक योर आंसर्स. I think there's one very easy pair that most of you got it right. Again, if you read everything, you get a very obvious hint. Is one of these debates, what one of these debates? Here, many comments and debates, right? And one of these debates. So 1 and 4 is definitely a pair which you guys have gotten it right. Check the other one. Okay? The energy crisis incited by America's war in Mexico has triggered many comments and debates in many countries. One of these debates is about whether the windfall profits that energy companies are now making should be taxed. Okay? Lock your answers. फोर्थ में बोला है कि क्या जो प्रॉफिट एनर्जी कंपनीज बना रही हैं उन्हें टैक्स करना चाहिए. दैट इज फोर्थ स्टेटमेंट फॉर यू. So 1 and 4 done, they are a pair. Now let's check 2 and 3. If you see 2 and 3, they are again talking and they are building upon the idea, and they're not general ideas, so they will obviously come after this. Okay, they will come after 1 and 4. But now the question is, should it be 2, 3 or 3, 2? Many hints given. Third में दिया है, while this question concerns all companies that produce coal, gas or oil, the focus is currently on electricity producers. So this is the first time the focus is introduced. Okay, this is the first time. And then statement 2 says, since high gas price is driving up electricity prices across the board, suppliers with power plants that use other fuels can reap extremely high profits. So this statement 2 is very exclusive to electricity. ठीक है, बात चालू हुई थी, बात किस पे चालू हुई थी कि क्या एनर्जी कंपनीज को टैक्स करना चाहिए, और कंक्लूड कैसे हुआ? सी द इन्वर्टेड ट्रायंगल. स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम एनर्जी कंपनीज, देन इट्स कंक्लूडेड टू स्पेसिफिक electricity companies, right? So 3 introduces electricity producers, focuses on electricity producers, and then builds upon that idea. 3 also starts with while this question, and this question is mentioned right here, whether the profits that energy companies are now making should be taxed. Okay, so this is the question which is then connected to statement 3. So answer should be 1, 4, 3, 2. Okay, these are the pairs, and this is the chronology of the pair. I think a lot of you change your answers over and over, but it's completely fine. This is the first time you're doing this, so it's okay, but please look out for these details and make pairs accordingly. Okay, I mean, these were some good level questions that we had come eventually. In the next session, I will focus exclusively on PYQs. So there you will get a real idea of what is the actual level. I think these also come very close to the level of CAT. But when we are doing PYQs, you understand the topics and the logic that the examiner uses for them. Okay, before we leave, I will give you guys your homework question. This is the homework question. Okay, I think I will start my next class with the discussion of this question, and then we'll do some PYQs. We have a session tomorrow. Okay, the next live session is tomorrow at 9 p.m. So wonderful, then very short time, but still try to practice a couple of para jumbles before that. All right, that's all the questions from my end. Rajnish is asking, it is said that we have to do 750 RCs. You definitely have to do a good amount of RCs. I mean, that is a very subjective number. If you feel like you need them, I mean, it could be a lot for you. Sometimes it could not be enough for you. Sometimes you might have to do a little extra. If you're good enough for RCs, maybe that is a big number. Okay, somebody who's not very good at RCs, I would recommend that. But I would ask you to now start doing one RC every single day. मैंने पहले भी बताया था. Please start one RC every single day, and then from July you have to start doing 2 RCs every single day. Right? You will solve a good number of RCs. Don't put a fixed number. Just start solving one every single day, and more than allotting time in solving, give time in analyzing your mistakes. Does backlog matter in admission in master in any university, government college, any institute, minimum or maximum approval by college? What does backlog mean? Do you mean like your additional exams? If you've given any ATKTs or additional exams? I mean, if you have given any additional or ATKT exam, you will get a whole different mark sheet. So I don't think it will make sense. And some colleges, MBA colleges, especially MHCT MBA colleges, do not have a PI round or resume analysis. So you only get your colleges based on the ranks or the percentile you score. So I think then in those institutions, it would really not matter. Chaitanya, you don't have resources for RCs. I mean, you can get them anywhere and everywhere. There's so many RCs. You can just go to, I think this is like I keep mentioning, because they have such wonderfully tracked resources. I think that is why I recommend 2IIM. Okay, they have like properly organized through years and chronology. You can go to 2IIMs. You can there's also Bodhi prep that you can go for. They all have like previous year CAT RCs for completely free of cost, so you can solve them. Otherwise, if you just want practice material, I think you can sign up on our portal. It's completely free of cost, and you can access the ebooks for theory and some practice material. Or you can just get a guide book, a second-hand guide book of Arihant, or get a GMAT book. Okay, GMAT also has some good level RCs. So I think those will be good enough practice for you for RCs. Okay, any other apprehensions? Okay, I don't see anything here. I mean, we are meeting tomorrow again, so we can discuss anything else that you have tomorrow. But till that time, please practice a couple of questions for Para Jumbles. Okay, so that tomorrow's questions don't startle you. All right, then I will see you guys tomorrow. Please solve the question, put the answers in the comment box. And if you're watching this lecture later, please put your doubts anywhere. If you had doubts or contentions or conflict of interest, please put it in the comment. I will reply to it. All right, then have a good evening, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow.